You're listening to Faith, Stewardship, and Insurance, Protecting Texas Churches. The show that gives pastors and church leaders the clarity they need to protect their people, property, and ministry.
Welcome back to Faith, Stewardship, and Insurance, Protecting Texas Churches. I'm your host, Ron Wadley with Insurance for Texans. We help church leaders to protect their people and property with wisdom and clarity. Today, we're talking about the difference between actual cash value and replacement cost. If you don't know the difference or think you know the difference but haven't seen it play out in a real claim, you're not alone. Mark serves on the building committee for a church just outside of Abilene. Their roof had been through plenty of Texas weather, but when a hailstorm finally did real damage, they felt relieved knowing they had insurance. The estimate to replace the roof came in at just over $90,000. Then the claim settlement arrived. The insurance company didn't deny the claim. They didn't delay it. They paid it exactly the way the policy said they would. The check was for a little over $38,000. That's when Mark learned painfully what actual cash value really means. Let's break this down in plain language. Replacement cost coverage is what most church leaders assume they have. It's designed to pay what it costs to repair or replace damaged property with materials of like kind and quality today, not what it was worth years ago. If your roof is destroyed by hail, replacement cost coverage is meant to fund the full repair minus the deductible, assuming the policy is written correctly. Actual cash value, on the other hand, takes depreciation into account. The insurance company looks at the age and condition of the roof and asks, what was this worth the day before the loss? Not what it costs to replace it, but what its remaining life was worth. If your roof is 15 or 20 years old, that number can be shockingly low. And here's the part that many churches don't realize until it's too late. More and more Texas church insurance policies are quietly shifting roofs to actual cash value once they reach a certain age. Sometimes that change happens at renewal. Sometimes it's buried in an endorsement. Sometimes no one explains it clearly at all. So is replacement cost better? In most cases, yes, without question. Replacement cost gives churches predictability. It protects reserves. It keeps a church's mission from being derailed by massive out-of-pocket expenses after a storm. It aligns with how churches actually budget and plan. But here's the hard truth pastors and leaders need to hear. Replacement cost is becoming harder and more expensive to get in Texas. Insurance companies are under pressure from hail losses, inflation, and reinsurance costs. One way they manage that risk is by pushing churches toward actual cash value on their roofs or higher deductibles. Sometimes ACV is the only option available, especially for older buildings or churches in high hail zones. That doesn't automatically mean it's wrong. An actual cash value policy can still make sense in certain situations, especially if the alternative is no coverage at all. Some churches knowingly choose ACV and plan ahead by building reserves, budgeting for future roof replacement, or pairing coverage with deductible or loss mitigation strategies. The real problem isn't ACV versus replacement cost. The real problem is not knowing which one you have and what that decision means before a storm hits. Mark's church didn't fail because they had ACV. They struggled because they didn't understand it. This is where good stewardship meets good planning. Church insurance isn't about chasing the lowest premium. It's about understanding how coverage responds when things go wrong and making decisions that won't force crisis-level fundraising after a claim. This is also why working with a specialist matters. A general agent might quote a policy. A church insurance specialist explains the trade-offs, the risks, and the long-term impact of those choices. If you would like a church insurance expert to take a look at your church's current policy, connect with our team at insurancefortexans.com. And if you would like to better understand church insurance overall, Get a copy of our book, The Promise of Certainty, at thepromiseofcertainty.com. I'm Ron Wadley, and this has been Faith Stewardship and Insurance, Protecting Texas Churches. Until next time, remember, insurance isn't just about policies. It's about understanding what that policy will do when your church is faced with a disaster.
Thanks for listening to Faith, Stewardship, and Insurance. Until next time, remember, insurance isn't just about policies. It's about safeguarding the mission God has called you to lead.